Argentina, round 7 of this year's FIA World Rally Championship, and some of the most impressive scenery of the series. Fought out once again in the dusty, winding roads in the foothills of the Andes Mountains, the rally was based in the city of Córdoba. Spectators, whether on horseback or on foot, thronged into the 23 stages spread out over 3 days. The start was very noisy.
Kenneth, this is the best entry we've had for a World Rally for a long time. The return of Kankkunen, the return of Oriol. Does that put extra pressure on you?
No, not at all. It just keeps the interest more, and it's more nice for us drivers and also for spectators and media, and that's what we want really. So it's very good. I'm very happy that US is back.
Is Argentina your type of rally?
Well, I hope so. We finished 4th here last year. We didn't really have any problems this year. I hope to do a little bit better.
Normally we have a strong car. That it's important because this rally it's very broken the road. So
I enjoy the place, I enjoy the rally, but I just haven't had a lot of luck here. But it's going to change this year.
The Mitsubishi Lancer of Tommi Mäkinen was first away from the start ramp, watched by around 10,000 cheering spectators. Mäkinen won here last year on the way to his first world title. The first stage, a spectator special in Córdoba itself, was delayed by 40 minutes to allow marshals to move spectators, and another 20 minutes were lost on the second. The delays didn't seem to bother Tommi, however, and by the end of the morning, Mäkinen had grabbed the lead. His English teammate Richard Burns was flying. He shared the fastest time on stage 2, the first time in his World Championship career he'd won a stage. By lunchtime, Mitsubishi held the top 2 places, another first.
20. K right minus long and 90 right over grid stone to hairpin left. Tight. 30. Left into K right minus and K left long.
I've been pushing fairly hard on the first 3 proper stages, which were quite quick, and then a little bit carefully on this one, which is a little bit tricky coming downhill, quite rough. So it's good. The car's doing extremely well.
Is this a tactical move as a team position, or are you allowed to run as you like?
It's a tactical move as a Burns position.
Equally as impressive was how quickly Kankkunen adapted to the Ford Escort. He was joint fastest with Sainz and McRae on the delayed first stage, and by the end of the morning was a comfortable 5th. Amazingly, despite the fact that Kankkunen and his co-driver Juha Repo are both Finnish, their pace notes are in a foreign language, English.
Tightens hard, 100. Easy left, keep left over deep water splash, 30, medium left. Yeah, no. 120, keep left over, fast jump 70, long bad left and long medium right.
Tell me something, you do your pace notes in English. How come, with 2 Finns in the car?
No, I have been using English notes since '83, so I didn't want to change them then.
After sitting out the last 2 rounds of the championship, which were contested by his teammate Piero Liati, Kenneth Eriksson was no doubt relieved to be back. A huge accident while tyre testing in Corsica had left Eriksson with nothing worse than a few bruises, but his early performance in Argentina suggested that it might still be playing on his mind. He was 6th at the end of the morning, nearly 45 seconds down on Mäkinen.
Epa, epa!
The other Subaru Impreza, driven by Colin McRae, had made a superb start, but then began to drop time to a charging Mäkinen. McRae shared the lead with the 2 Fords after stage 1, but his moment of glory was short-lived. After the 5th stage, he and co-driver Nicky Grist were in 4th place, 16 seconds adrift with the leader.
50, 2 left plus tightens. 52 right.
A Toyota Celica might have taken Didier Oriol to the World Championship in 1994, but very little development's been done recently, the team preferring to devote their efforts to preparing the new World Rally car for its first public appearance in August. Oriol, up against the might of the big 3 teams and their new cars, was struggling. Mechanical problems weren't helping matters, and he and Denis Girardet were over 3.5 minutes off the pace after stage 5. Carlos Sainz had come within 7 seconds of taking Ford's first victory of the year in Corsica, and the performance had a noticeable effect on the team. There was a new confidence present in South America, and his new teammate was obviously a great incentive to Sainz. He and Lewis Moyer were in second place at lunchtime on day one, Mäkinen only 11 seconds ahead.
Frenando a brilla, cabe izquierda, buena menos de tierra. Buena menos. Para derecha, buena, se abre. Para izquierda, que corta, 2. Izquierda frenando, para derecha, buena, de tierra. Para izquierda, buena, menos corta, de tierra poco. Para derecha, Cabri, frenando. Derecha, buena, menos de tierra poco. Después rasantes, Asar. Para izquierda, buena, corta. Para derecha, casi tierra a fondo. Para rasante, fondo, izquierda, rápida, ojo, 1. Rasante en derecha, buena, más en quinta, salta.
But where was the early pace setter, Richard Burns? Despite his superb start to the event, Sainz and McRae had squeezed past, and Burns and his co-driver Robert Reid had slipped to fourth in just 3 stages. Further spectator problems meant that the rally was running over an hour and a half late by the end of the day. Känkinen, minus his front bumper, returned to Cordoba in 5th place. 4th was Burns, content with his performance and happy to wait and see what the following day would bring. Sainz had tried to swap his tyres around between stages 6 and 7, and part of the jack became jammed under the car, costing 8 seconds. The problem, minor as it was, dropped him to 3rd place. He too was missing the bumper. McRae's Subaru was 2nd, a wrong tyre choice losing time early on. He'd recovered well though, setting or sharing the fastest time in the last 3 of the race stages. The day's last stage was a spectator super special, allowing 2 cars to race against each other as well as against the clock. McRae shared the fastest time on the stage, but just 1 second slower was the rally leader, Tommy Mäkinen. Mitsubishi had enjoyed a trouble-free first day, in sharp contrast to Ford, who were getting concerned about those missing front bumpers. Mäkinen, though, had no such worries.
Lyhyt helppo oikee plus 7. Lyhyt helppo vasen oikee. Ja nyppy 5 huomio vettä. Jatkuu pitkä kova, se kiristyy. 2. Huomio syvä vesi vasella.
Almost 2 hours more than you'd expected to be out today. Was it a longer day than you planned?
Yeah, we're well into overtime now.
8 seconds, is that the sort of lead you'd hoped for when you started this morning?
Actually, I hope a bit more.
Why were you not able to pull out more time then?
No, Colin did last few stages very well, and he got that little bit. And so I think tomorrow will be a big fight.
Again, it's the two of you. It's the Tommy and Colin show. Why can nobody else keep up with you?
I don't know.
I don't know, we're the quickest in the gravel maybe.
Andrew, on the face of it, a day without much drama. Behind the scenes, has it been the same?
Yeah, we've been pretty relaxed. You know, I think it's gone pretty well. You know, Tommy's been comfortable with the car, and we're very pleased with Richard's performance. Excellent.
Malcolm, what happened this morning with the front spoilers to the cars?
What happens when they've been hitting the deep river crossings here? Literally, it's the speed and the impact on the front end, and this is just a carbon Kevlar composite material, and it's just literally just pulling the mounting brackets out of the carbon.
How many did you lose?
I think we've lost a total of 4 now.
How many spares have you brought?
When we started, we had a total of 6, I think. So we're up against it really. We're going to try and rectify that for tomorrow, and we'll see what we can do.
55 seconds separated the top 5 at the end of the first leg, with Juha Känkinen needing to make up at least 25 seconds if he was to make any impression on the head of the leaderboard. As dawn broke on the second day, the organisers hoped they wouldn't get a repeat of the previous day's spectator problems. Leg 1's 8 stages had all been north of Cordoba. Today it was the turn of the mountains to the west to host a further 10 stages. The scenery was just as stunning, but that wasn't the only link with the previous day. At Ford, the talk was still of bumpers and an ingenious solution.
We found a local company in Cordoba last night who actually worked all night. They made a mould off the one remaining one that we had that was in good condition. We collected them at 6 o'clock this morning, and we fitted them here for the first service. I think if it had been England or anywhere else in the world, it would have been a different story, but I think there's so much passion here for Carlos.
There was indeed a passion for Sainz, or more accurately, a passion for anything and everything to do with the rally. The overnight session had worked wonders. Not even the deep water splashes which had caused the original problems could shift the new, improved bumpers. Once again, though, it was Mäkkinen's Mitsubishi which ran first on the road. His victory here last year had largely been achieved on the same stages as he was about to tackle. The plan seemed to be the same. Once the short spectator stage in Cordoba was out of the way, Tommy seemed to move up a gear. He would be fastest on 7 of the day's 10 stages, taking an incredible 17 seconds off McRae on stage 13. Mäkkinen's intentions were clear.
Ja vasen oikea 4. Lyhykko oikea miinus, kapea sumppuun. Heti vasen jatkuu kohvasen miinus. Heti huomio, nyppy vasemmalle 10, serpo oikea. Ja vasen nopea plus.
Tommy, 17 seconds on one stage. Where did you get the time from?
The stage is very good for our car. It's difficult, twisty and quite narrow and all the time over the crest. And we were already last year very fast on this stage, and I like it. It must be my famous stage.
McRae's record in Argentina isn't a good one. On his 2 previous visits, he's failed to finish and was only too aware that another retirement just wasn't an option.
6 right, 70, 3 right plus over crest, and opens long.
He wasn't letting Mäkinen have things his own way, however. The Scot was quickest or equal quickest on 4 stages. No one else could touch the leading pair, it seemed. The Mitsubishi team were delighted with Richard Burns' performance on the first leg. His second-place finish behind McRae on the Safari Rally in Kenya had shown that, like Colin, Richard's been able to make the transition from being British champion to the World Series with ease. Burns' first victory at the sport's highest level can't be far off.
Fast right, 60, medium right over crest long, to easy left, 50, fast right long, opens, to easy right long, 40, medium right plus slow.
But that victory wouldn't come in Argentina. On stage 15, a loud bang from the rear of the car meant the beginning of the end for Burns. On the road section between stages 15 and 16, the Charisma was parked up, Burns struggling to fix the rear suspension.
What happened? 3 k's from there and we're broken the bottom arm. That's it. You can see what the problem is.
Yeah, wrap round it. Something else we can take the jack handle or screw the...
At this point, the mechanics can't actually touch the car, can they?
No, we've got to use things that we carry toolkit on the car. They can advise us, but they can't actually touch the car.
Desperately searching for parts which could be used to repair the suspension, the mechanics must have been frustrated that they weren't allowed to do their jobs. The roadside repair was always going to be a temporary affair. With the clock ticking away until they had to check into the next time control, the car eventually drove off, but it would only go 100 metres or so before stopping again, this time for good.
There was some rocks in the road, and just coming around a long tight corner there was quite a big bang, and it must have snapped the rear arm, and now it's pulled all the drive shaft out and everything.
Burns' retirement handed 4th place to Känkkönen. Considering he'd not even driven his new car until setting foot in Argentina, this was an amazing drive from the master. With rumours already circulating about teams selecting drivers for next year, Juha was serving notice that he's not ready to retire just yet. Unfortunately, he too would fall victim to some of the roughest stages in the championship. The in-car camera records the moment when the 2 Finns realise the car's not handling quite as it should.
70 caution, long bad left and very long bad right. 50, oops. Long easy left. 70, fast left.
Hävis vedo.
Joo, over crest, joo. Takana on jotain vikaa.
Joo, ei.
No, 70, easy left.
Burns had broken the rear suspension, Känkkönen the front. Despite being able to limp through stage 16, losing 14 minutes in the process, Kankkunen and Juha Repo were faced with an almost identical situation to that which had confronted Richard and Robert just one stage before. The outcome was identical too.
I hit maybe million rocks, but not any loose ones, just on the road, the normal ones, because the roads were very rough. But I didn't hit anything. I mean, you can see that it is just about broke.
Are you out because you're out of time or because they can't fix it?
No, out of time. They can fix it quickly, but out of time because the lateness is 15 minutes.
Kenneth Eriksson then became the third driver to hold fourth place in just 2 stages. With one Mitsubishi and now one Ford gone, Subaru must have been praying that they wouldn't follow. Eriksson, though, had no intention of doing so. His drive was cautious rather than spectacular, although he was quicker than McRae on one stage. Kenneth and Staffan Hamander appeared content to play a supporting role to their teammates McRae and Grist. In Formula 2, meanwhile, a 4-car battle was going on. The Seat of Oriol Gomez was 12th overall. The little Skoda of Pavel Sibera was 11th. Sibera's teammate Emil Triner had already retired, and a similar fate awaited the Renault Clio of local hero Gabriel Reyes on the final day. Not surprisingly, the two-wheel drive class would eventually be won by Finland's Harri Rovanperä in another Seat Evita. As the second day drew to a close, thankfully without any spectator problems, the top 6 places seemed to be almost settled. Didier Auriol was 6th. Marcus Gronholm was 5th in another Toyota, the first of 2 Finns in the top 5. Eriksson's Subaru was 4th. Sainz in the sole surviving Ford Escort was 3rd. The bumpers were holding. McRae was 2nd. He'd suffered from centre differential and then power steering problems, and was over a minute down on the leader. Mäkkinen's tactics had paid off. He'd taken almost unassailable lead into the third and final day.
Did anything go wrong at all today, or was it the perfect day in rallying?
Very perfect.
Well, I think, he's got quite a lead, 1 minute 2 seconds and 80 kilometres of stage to go. He's pretty relaxed and the car's in good condition, so it's up to Tommy. He knows exactly what he's got to do.
With over 8.5 minutes spanning the top 5, it looked unlikely to say the least that we'd see a repeat of the dramas of both the last 2 rounds of the championship. And so to the final day's 5 stages to the south of Cordoba. The return of massive crowds of spectators caused the second stage of the day to be cancelled. The leaders could then cruise through the 3 final stages to the finish, or so they thought. The rally would have one last cruel trick to play though. Sainz went into stage 21 on course to finish 3rd, but the clouds of steam coming out from the right-hand side of the bonnet suggest all is not well. Sainz was eventually forced to stop. An overheated engine, possibly caused by a cylinder head gasket failure, spelled the end of his rally. As Eriksson passes, taking 3rd place, the look on Sainz's face says it all.
For sure, when you retire, and so close to the end of the rally, it is not so nice. But well, what can you do? The only thing we can do is keep trying.
Sorry, we are a private conversation.
Sainz's retirement provided the only real drama of the final day. Auriol finished 5th, 2 championship points as reward. Gronholm ended the rally 4th, ending one of our cameras too. Eriksson's 3rd place must have come as something of a surprise. 4 points were a welcome boost in his championship campaign. Second was McRae, relieved to have finished the Rally Argentina for the first time. But just as on last year's event, victory went to Tommi Mäkinen. Mäkinen might have won by over a minute, but his unblinking concentration never wavered.
5 hyppykeskeltä täys. 250.
A familiar sight, Mäkinen arriving at the final service area to the applause of his mechanics and relief of the team management. Only halfway through the 1997 season, this was already his third victory of the year. And a conclusive victory at that. 1 minute and 1 second Tommy's winning margin, with the rest of the top 5 spread out over 24 minutes. Mäkinen now has a 6-point cushion in the drivers' table, with McRae still hard on his heels. Third place Sainz all but admitted defeat at the end of the rally, saying that the championship's now a 2-horse race. There's still a long way to go though. Confirmation that with 10 points apiece, the Rally Argentina hasn't altered the gap between Subaru and Mitsubishi in the championship for manufacturers. No finishers means no points for Ford.